being poor is a result of the poverty mindset, and it's not what you think it is. Hey guys, Greg here, Bone Tactical. Today we're going to discuss the poverty mindset. And let me first start off by saying there's no plan for you to be poor. You are not supposed to be poor. Okay? God doesn't have a plan that involves you being poor. And that's not his plan for you. Nobody is supposed to be poor. I have to define poor to let you guys really understand the concept. I'll define the poverty mindset, and then I will speak on how to be rich, as well as discussing what it means to be rich, and we'll cover that aspect fully in some other videos. In this one, we'll specifically talk about the first thing that you have to do is if you feel like you're poor, or if you feel like you have a understanding or you're confused, anything like that about poor, stay tuned, because this is the newest edition of the BONECAST series, where I'm going to take you into the deep end of the pool, some thinking stuff, some coaching. It's basically a podcast where I absolutely share tips and tricks that will greatly help you. All you have to do is be able to watch, integrate this stuff, maybe take some notes, and be willing to watch with an open mind, do your best to understand these speaking points, and then be willing to try to implement them into your life. I guarantee that it will have drastic positive effects on your life if you're able to do that. So what is the poverty mindset? The poverty mindset is specifically focusing on materialistic or material things. This is such a big problem in America today. We're such a materialistic society that even many Christians fall victim to this mentality, and we have even entire sects or groups of Christians now that are teaching and preaching, how to get rich, and God wants you to be rich, and this, that, and the other. And being rich or poor is not a direct indication of money. It doesn't take money in your bank account or lack thereof to either be rich or poor. That's where being poor stems from. That's the poverty mindset. The poverty mindset is the mindset that material things make me either rich or poor. And more specifically, the spirit or the idea, the principle of money. It's such an elusive concept to nail down, and it's very difficult to people who don't have a full understanding of the spiritual realm that we live in. But money, we know, is basically something that has an inherent value greater than what the face value is. If it's a piece of paper with something marked on it that makes it able to be exchanged for goods or services, that's what we're referring to here with money. So a lot of people will begin to adopt this prepper mindset, hoarder mindset, where they want to get all of this money. Now, first of all, the correct way to do things is to be a bridge, right? And so if we want to be able to control a large amount of wealth or money, then we're a bridge, and we're just looking for the correct way to manage that outflow. And that's the better we manage the outflow, the better we receive, right? More we receive, the better we handle the going out. It's kind of like the poverty mindset would be like if I took you to the beach and you loved the beach so much that you wanted to just have as much beach sand as you could possibly have, but you didn't have a bucket or a bag or no way to really load this beach sand and carry it. You could only carry the beach sand with what you had with you, right? And so I said, okay, well, I'm going to give you some beach sand. Here you go. And you would be trying to just grasp this beach sand, and there's the whole beach here. But you're not enjoying the beach. You're not able to realize that beach is there for your pleasure, for you to be able to sit and hang out. That sand's not going anywhere. Nobody else is going to take that sand from you, and you're just concentrating on what you can hold in your hand. Now you've got your both hands are full with this beach sand, and there's nothing that you can't do anything. You can't even use your hands. You're just super concentrated in on this little bit, and you're trying to figure out where to take it and where to stick it and where to store it and where to put it. And it's just, that is the poverty mindset. So when we look at what kind of people are poor, there's people that are poor that have tons of money in the bank. And it's because Once you get into the poverty mindset, and the poverty mindset is thinking that materialism is what makes you rich, or putting your value in materialism, there's no limit to that. So the richest people in the world will tell you they'll be happy and satisfied and fulfilled when they have a couple more dollars, right? When I hit 10 million in the bank, that's when everything will be okay. And then you hit 10 million and they're like, well, it's got to be 100. When I hit 100 million in the bank, then I'll be set for life and I'll be happy, right? And that never happens. We are able to be fulfilled, and we are promised to be taken care of if we form a relationship with the provider, our higher power, God above, that through faith we understand that we're never going to be starving as long as we're on the path. We're never going to be without clothing as long as we're on the path, right? As long as we're doing what we're supposed to. We don't have the ability to provide for ourselves 100% us. We're just caretakers of everything in this world. Everything that is in my possession, I'm just taking care of. And the better job I do caretaking, the further I get away from that poverty mentality, and the more riches I have in my life. Because true riches is going to be your health, your wealth, your family, your peace, your joy. Those are going to be your true riches, right? And none of that stuff money can buy. So money is really, it's a concept, and it's a changing concept, because now in the United States, for example, there's no gold backing for the dollar. We're just printing money. So the actual, every single day, the definition of money changes. Every single day. The value of $1 tomorrow will be different than it was today. Then the price of goods is changing as well. So money is almost a fantasy concept. It's you can't lock it down, because money today is not the same as money tomorrow. What it is, like I say, is really a spirit. And it's an idea, and it's a principle, and it's thinking that if I have this certain thing, then I'll be happy. Then I'll be prepared. Then I'll be okay. Then I'll have security. And our security and our preparedness doesn't come from that. There's no contingency plan for preppers. There's no doomsday bunker. There's no amount of non-perishable food items. There's no gun big enough to protect you from everything else. No army big enough. Nothing can fulfill when we start getting into the poverty mindset. And the poverty mindset is just simply, guys, it's just very simply not understanding that no amount of materialistic or materialism or comfort or excess or anything, nothing physically can make us rich. So what we have to do is completely stop putting stock or faith in material items in order to get rid of the poverty mindset. And the crazy thing is that having this poverty mindset actually has the opposite effect on having any kind of wealth. So when I think to myself that what I need is money, I got to be able to feed my kids, I need a better car, I need better clothes, I got to be able to keep up with the Joneses. All of that is terrible thinking, and it's the poverty mindset. There's a big spectrum out there of poverty mindset thinking. There's the spectrum of, the guy who has to have his vanity license plate and his Rolex watch and his, Louis Vuitton and this, that, and the other. And, he goes out and he tries to flex and show. That's kind of, I think most of us know that that's, a little bit ridiculous, that's extreme lack of self-confidence, that's trying to rely, those people, they're extremely unhappy people. They never can reach any kind of happiness or enlightenment or joy or peace in life. They don't have good relationships. They just put, we understand that. But there's kind of a middle ground too, and there's people that are there's even Christians that are going to tell you, well, we're called to be, we're supposed to be blessed, and so we can bless others, and that's true. We are. We're supposed to bless others, but we don't have to fall into keeping up with the Joneses, and having $100,000 car when there's people that are materially poor to where they don't know where their next meal's coming from is just a little bit excessive. If you want to get rid of the poverty mindset, you've got to learn how to be thankful for what you have. First of all, no matter what it is, we have to start with thankfulness. And one of the easiest ways to do that is travel and culture. So I would highly advise you guys to go somewhere where there's poor people and spend some time there and talk to those people. You guys know I spend a lot of time in Central America. A huge percentage of my life is dedicated to helping the poor. And you may follow this line of thinking and say, well, then why is there poor people if it's not their calling to be poor? And the reason that there's poor people is because, well, there's always going to be people who have more than others. And if you say, why is there poor people if God doesn't want anybody to be poor, I think you're still looking at it the wrong way. It's not about the distribution of resources. It's about faith. And I've seen this so much. If you look at these poor countries where we go, there's people there that rely 100% on God, that are very strong Christians, that don't have really anything materially. For example, they may live in the mountains of Honduras, Guatemala, way out in the mountains. But you know what? They have food. They have clean drinking water. And it's crazy because you'll see miracles with these people so often. They might have medical conditions and they gather in prayer and you see healing with no doctors. You see, I've worked with medical brigades, right, down there. You'll see that these people pray and then the medical brigade, through somebody like me who might be there trying to direct some Americans coming down where the most help is needed, will direct them there, and then boom, they'll get that help that they would have never had access to. And that's the thing about the poverty mindset. To get rid of that, the way to do that is through faith and through understanding that as long as we're doing our part to live the way that we're supposed to, as long as we're putting others first, then our needs will be met. Right? And that all is based off of a personal relationship with you and the God who made you. So that's something that every person has to do individually. And it's not easy. It's very difficult. But the poverty mindset, to close out, the poverty mindset that we have to get away from is putting material, the worst is the spirit of money, right? Putting money in any kind of a position. If you tell yourself, well, I have to make this much money, you're already done. I have to have this car. I have to get this. That you're done off the rip, like we like to say in the South, if you start off by talking about money, right? It's not about money. Your needs will be met. And if you're the type of person that can handle money, which having a bunch of money is more of a curse than anything, because it's the more money you have, the harder it is to rely on your daily needs from the provider. You start thinking, you start mind warping, you start brainwashing yourself to think that you did everything and you have everything because of you. In order to stop being poor, it all happens here. And it's such a conundrum because everybody thinks that, I can't do that. I got to feed my kids. I got to eat. I got to this. I got to that. And that's all just negative, bad thinking, and it's a cycle that will never stop until you can say, nope, no more. You don't have to have a job. You don't have to have money in the bank. You don't have to have a car. You don't have to have any of that for everything you need to be provided for you. You just have to be going step by step on the right path, and that's, like I say, between you and the Creator. And as long as you're on that path, everything will be provided to you. It's not going to be easy, but how much better would it be to have everything you need guaranteed than it would be to have to rely on yourself to work for everything and then very quickly go down the path, which is the poverty mindset of trying to screw other people over to make sure that you have what you need. And no, it's the opposite. You have to die to live. All of these concepts are completely contrary to everything we think, everything the world's telling us. But when you stop putting any importance on everything physical, that's when you receive everything you need, right? And the more that you put your importance, you'll never have enough money as long as you want money. You'll never have a nice enough car as long as you want a nice car, right? The day that you buy your car, you drive it off the lot, it devalues, somebody dents your door, you buy that super nice car, you have to decide whether you want to drive it and ruin it or put it in it. Then you have to buy a garage for it. You have to put security cameras on it. You have to have all this special cleaning and maintenance program, and it's just like tuk, 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 it just keeps going up, and you're spending on yourself and on yourself and on yourself. And over here, these people that you're ignoring that have needs, it's all about where you put your focus. What are you focused on? If you're focused on making money, if you're focused on having possessions, if you're focused on life comforts, then you need to pull back hard stop, seek out people who are in a bad position, go talk to them, go meet them, go get to know them, go somewhere poor. It doesn't have to be another country. Every big city has homeless people. Go down there, go volunteer at a soup kitchen, go talk to the homeless people, go do whatever you need to do to get out of your own head and get out of this poverty mindset. And the next step is to have riches in life. And we'll talk about what it means to be rich, how to get rich, and it's not what you think it is. We'll talk about that in a future BONECAST. Thanks for watching. Bone out.